Chris Lee and Blake Lovell of Southeastern 14 presented by Stakes, previewing Arkansas and Missouri. That game kicks off Friday at 2:30 Central. Arkansas a slight favorite in this one on the road, about a 4-point favorite with an over-under of about 56 as we're doing this Sunday night. Arkansas coming off a huge win over Ole Miss in which the defense gave up 700 yards, but Rocket Sanders was phenomenal. Missouri beat an awful New Mexico State team in a game that I don't think taught us anything. And now we get one on a Friday, and implications for both teams. Arkansas can maybe go up a peg in the bowl hierarchy, and Missouri can get to one by winning this.
Yeah, this is kind of a fun game, I think, just with the setup here, because again, Arkansas is coming off a huge win over Ole Miss, up 42-6 in that game, as we said at one point. Missouri, I think was a team that has been hard to figure out all season long, as we've said many times. You certainly know what to expect from the defense, and I think that, take out the one game against Tennessee, right? And it's just been a team that defensively has given itself a chance to. I mean, Chris is not even like, this is not exaggerating. Like, they've had a chance to win every SEC game except for the one against Tennessee, just based on how their defense has played, right? Could have beaten, Georgia. Obviously, you're looking back at the Auburn game right now and just, if they were to lose this one, that's the one you're really looking back and saying, boy, how did we lose that game? But yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of what you look at. This matchup's interesting because Arkansas, that's been, Sanders coming off of just a monster game against Ole Miss. KJ Jefferson just, gives that offense a lot more confidence in what they can do. And then you got a Missouri defense that has played so well for the most part this season. So, yeah, it's kind of a fun matchup on paper.
When Arkansas has football, Hogs averaging 31 points a game. Missouri, even with that beatdown by Tennessee a couple of weekends ago, giving up 24.8 a game. Arkansas has lost 9 fumbles. Missouri's recovered 6. Arkansas has thrown 5 picks. Missouri has picked off 9. Arkansas has given up 24 sacks. Missouri has 26 per rush play. Again, rushes that are sacks count as pass plays. Arkansas averaging 5.6 yards per rush play, one of the better teams in the conference at running the ball. Rocket Sanders was phenomenal last game. KJ Jefferson was back. Missouri giving up 4.5 per rush play. Missouri giving up only 6 yards a throw or per pass play. Arkansas averaging 7.3. Missouri's defense has been good, but I just think that Arkansas's formula is going to be run the ball a lot, and eventually the Hogs kind of wear you down when they do that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think just the number of times they're going to run the ball is always a challenge because you do know that they are going to, make that priority number one in terms of how they're going to run their offense. And why would you not, right? When you've got, a guy like Sanders and what he can do, he's almost a 1,400-yard mark this season, 10 touchdowns. KJ Jefferson as well. We've talked about that in terms of what he can do, and just to add that dimension to it's just, this is a team, like we said, it's pretty clear like what their strength is. Yes, they've got, a guy like Landers in the passing game and what he can do, and all those different things, but it is a team that is going to try to beat you at the line of scrimmage in terms of what they can do running the ball. They're going to try to do that behind their offensive line. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what Missouri defensively, forces Arkansas to try to do. And I think, as we said, that's going to, if you're going to make Arkansas beat you any way you slice it, you want it to try to be through the air. And it's just, can you stop what Sanders has done? Because again, this is someone, I mean, my goodness, Chris. I mean, he is just, we look back at some of the games he's had this year, and obviously this was kind of the, the one here against Ole Miss where he goes for 232 and 3 touchdowns was the best of the group. But we know at any time, I mean, he has the talent, he has the skill to be able to really, break down a defense. And again, I think this is where the line play is going to be very important to give him a chance to do what he does. And if not, KJ Jefferson obviously has the option to be able to, make a big impact himself on the ground. So it is going to be kind of a fun matchup here to see what happens, and can Missouri slow down this Arkansas rushing attack here.
Okay, before we get to the other side of the matchup, predict sports better than the crowd for a chance to win NFTs with our friends at Stakes. With Stakes, players can cement their sports predictions against friends, other fans, and influencers forever. Don't let your sports genius go overlooked. Join Stakes and have the best predictions captured in the moment. Go to playwithstakes.com/14. Use our invite code Southeastern14 for a double welcome bonus. Free to play, free to join, not a betting app. It's a prediction app. So help out the folks who help us. Okay, when Arkansas is on defense, Missouri averaging 25.5 yards per game. Hogs giving up 28.7. Missouri has lost 10 fumbles. Arkansas has recovered 8. Missouri's thrown 9 picks. Arkansas has registered 7. Missouri's only given up 21 sacks, which is okay. Arkansas, though, has got 37. It's one of the higher totals in the country. So when you get down to it, Missouri likes to run a little bit more than it likes to pass per rush play. Missouri averaging 4.5 yards a carry. Really doesn't have a game-breaking back. Arkansas giving up 5.7 per rush. Missouri averaging 6.4 per throw. Arkansas has struggled there. But as we said, the Hogs will get to the passer. To me, I've seen Missouri at times have trouble with teams that bring pressure. Brady Cook is probably not a guy that's going to beat you by himself. And so I think for Arkansas, there are much worse matchups than the defense. Then again, if you're Missouri, you're probably looking at this and going, well, we've seen anybody and everybody throwing the Hogs at times. So something's got to give here.
Yeah, and I think that's where, Brady Cook, we said it's kind of, has he been great? No, but at times he has been able to do something, especially too. We've seen him be able to use his legs a bit, and make and kind of get out of some of those plays where, again, like you said, the pressure probably going to be there, especially given what we've seen from Arkansas. So I think that's something that certainly you look at and kind of wonder, can he make some plays that way too? Because he has been able to do that at times. And like you said, I mean, Schrader's obviously the top back for Missouri in terms of yardage. But then I think the game lies in, the receiving group, right? Because like you said, if you feel like you can throw on Arkansas, um, we look about kind of the talent that's there, obviously and we talked about Luther Burden a lot this season, right? I mean, we've talked about just, we know what this guy can do. And he had I think New Mexico State, he had 3 receptions, 2 touchdowns. And it's just kind of been sporadic in terms of the usage with him. I think this could be one of those games where surely you've got to find a way to get him involved here and make him a big part of what they can do. So I think that's obviously going to be a big, and love it as well. I think that's, but again, it's on Brady Cook, right? If you have the pressure, can you make those throws? And, can he do some things, which I think he can with his legs to kind of challenge that a little bit too. So, yeah, I mean, it's just, we've said Missouri, the strength of Missouri is their defense, but I don't think their offense has been terrible at times. It's just, I think the consistency, it's just, they played a lot of low scoring games, right? That's probably the best way to put it, just because their defense has kept them in those games. And
well, we talked about this last week. Missouri had a string of, 6 straight games where it scored between 17 and 24.
Yeah.
That was all against SEC teams that got snapped last week. We kind of know what Missouri's going to do.
Yeah.
Arkansas gives you a little more opportunity in that regard for points. But, I mean, I think Missouri's just going to try to run Cody Schrader and see if it can control some tempo, maybe keep Arkansas off the field, keep the chains moving. But Arkansas has given up explosive plays, and you did mention they got a guy in Luther Burden who can make them and has made them.
And to me, that's what this comes down to is, can Missouri get their playmakers involved in the passing game? Can Brady Cook make those kind of throws and make those plays? I think that's probably it. Because I feel like what you said earlier, we talked about it, was just kind of I just think by sheer force, Arkansas is going to find some success with the run.
Yeah.
And even though, like we mentioned, Missouri has, the numbers are pretty good, but I just think with Arkansas, what you're going up against. And I just, this is, again, because Missouri has something to play for. And if we actually look at it, Chris, really aside from that Tennessee game, I mean, Eli Drinkwitz
and the Kansas State game.
Well,
Kansas State game, they were
true.
awful too.
But really, and we talked about Tennessee just may be a bad matchup because you look what happened last year. Eli Drinkwitz has had them he's had them up and ready to play in all these situations, especially their home games. They've looked pretty good at home at times. So So this is a hard one because a bowl trip's on the line here. And for Arkansas, they have played such a tough schedule. They're coming off a high of this win. I still think I'm going to lean in the Hogs' favor here, but this is one that over-unders at, was it 56?
56.
That's like one of those, like, that's like a bait one because it's like, you could really see Missouri's defense keeping this down to a lower scoring game. Um,
Well,
I'm going to go with
before
the
you
Hogs
make your
for this.
picks,
We'll see.
I was going to say a couple things. Penalty yards, not much difference. Arkansas 59, Missouri 62 a game. FEI's got these teams rated in about the same area on special teams. Schedules, according to computers, have been similar, although I don't buy that. I think Arkansas has been stronger. We've got, as of Sunday night, I'm seeing a line of 4 in Arkansas's favor, over under at 56. That gives you a 30-26 final. I'm with you. I think Arkansas wins. I sure wouldn't bet the house on it because Missouri has been tough. I think if you look at what the teams have done, the over-under should be about 55. I feel like I like the over in this one and maybe let it all hang out in your last gasp to try to get to a bowl. And if you're Arkansas, trying to get a win that you'd really like to have.
Yeah, to me, this is one of the harder games to predict this week, and I think it's just because there is a lot on the line for Missouri in terms of playing for a bowl bid here. And Arkansas has played such a tough schedule. You're coming off that high, and like I said, Missouri's just kind of a team. What did you call Kentucky, Chris? Like the team that kind of brings everything in the middle, but like Missouri just keeps. They tend to keep, like I said,
Missouri's done that for everybody except for 2 games, right?
Yeah. So I think that's kind of what you would expect here. But yet I think I'm still going to lean on Arkansas's ability. With Caden Jefferson, I just think we've said their offense we know is just different. And I think he adds a dynamic that obviously they don't have when he's not out there. And, the defense too for Arkansas had to get up a lot of yards, right? But even in that LSU game, we saw some things they could do well. So they'll need that here because I don't think this is an offense that will put up 50, but I think this is one of the more interesting games of the week and probably one of the more unpredictable ones.
All right. He's Blake Lovell. I'm Chris Lee. We're Southeastern 14. We are previewing every single football game for the SEC season involving SEC teams. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Thanks to Stakes for sponsoring our channel. We hope to see you again soon at Southeastern 14.